Hello and welcome to this tutorial with Tony from Vet Tech. Today we're going to do something fun. I'm going to show you how to do brute force attack testing against your own Azure VMs. But one thing I want to mention, the purpose of this video is simply just for testing. If you want to test your own VMs doing brute force attacks, this should never be used for malicious intents. And you may ask, well, why brute force attacks? Well, I made this video for two main reasons. Number one, once you know this, you'll be able to test brute force attacks against your own environment. And two, I have another video on my channel where I trigger a logic app based on a security center alert. Every time there's a brute force attack in my environment, it'll trigger a logic app and do some things. This testing video that I created that you're watching right now, it's kind of a requirement if you want to test brute force attacks and get against your own environment to trigger this logic app. If you want to check that video out, go ahead. I'll put a link in the comments and the descriptions as well. Alright, so let's get started creating these. First thing we're going to do is create a Linux VM. Alright, we're going to choose some things here, and this is going to be brute force target VM. Alright, and then let's put this in Central US because I'm in Central, and then leave that as fine, same. And then we're not going to do SSH public key, we're going to do password because a brute force attack is going to penetrate using password authentication. So let's just call it the same as the VM. Let's give it a password. And we'll leave port 22 open because that's where the attacker will be communicating from. And so no disk necessary, networking, yes, that's fine. Sure. Okay. I don't need any diagnostics. Let's just go ahead and review and create. Alright, we passed the validation and we'll go ahead and create. Okay, while we wait for that VM to create, we're going to create our attacker VM. It's going to call brute force attacker. Just make it simple. And then the key point here is to change the image. So we'll click here and we want to look for an image called Kali. This is a Linux image that is used for penetration testing and such. And that's what we're going to use. And we will use SSH key on this particular one. So let me grab that key real quick. Alright, the key's in there, and I like to call it, like I said earlier, same as the username and the VM. So open port 22. Continue. And alright. To go. Excuse me. We don't need diagnostics either. And we just go to review and create. Okay, hit create. And now we'll wait. Alright, so now we have these two VMs, attacker and target VM. So what we'll do is we're going to use git bash to connect to our attacker VM because we need to set up the usernames and the passwords files within that, and then execute the Hydra command, which is the built-in capabilities that comes with the Killa, or not sorry, the Killa, the Kali VM image. Okay, so I want to get the attacker's IP address because that's where we're logging into, and so it'll look something like this. All right. So we're basically pointing to our SSH file where our key is, and then we're connecting to the brute force, and the name of that will be not the target but the attacker. And then we'll just go ahead and log in, say yes, and we're inside the brute force attack VM. So let's go ahead and make this bigger. So now what I gotta do here is first I need to do grab root first, and then we're gonna go to the home directory, and then we're gonna do a list to see what's there. And all right, so we're gonna navigate to that one. Sorry, root, there we go. All right, now we're inside that file. So to create a file, first we need to do the username file. Okay, so to create a file, we need to do this VI usernames. It's gonna open an editor, press I for insert, and now we're gonna do the usernames that we want the brute force attack to try. And to get this, I need to go to our Azure account and see our target VM. We're gonna get that name because we already know this is also the username. So we're gonna take that username and plug it into right here. I guess it won't take that. Okay, so we'll just do it manually, call brute force target VM. Okay. Brute. I guess no capital force target VM. Enter. I don't need to do anymore, but just for the sake of it, it's test 1. Okay, and then when we want to exit this, we hit escape, and then we type colon W for write and Q for quit. So this will save our file, and if we want to see that, I'm pretty sure the command is well, we just hit ls, and that'll list the files that are there. There you go. You got that file with users' names on there. Now we'll create our passwords, and then if I for insert, and then we're going to type a password that we already know. Okay, then password 1, password 2, just to have 3 in each file, just in case. Then escape, colon, WQ, and then to list it. Now we got both passwords and username files on there. All right, all we have to do now is execute the Hydra command. So it looks like Hydra, and L for our usernames, and make sure these are capital L and P, because if not, then if it's lowercase, it'll only use the first line. So your first username and your first password. Capital will use all of it. So passwords, and then the IP address of our target VM, which is right here. Paste, and then you need to do SSH. All right, and then as you see, you can read this right here. It says it's recommended. I'm trying to look for something specific. Attacking SSH. Okay, so here's attacking it, and what you see on green is the IP address, the name of the VM, not the VM, the username that was used, and the password that was also used successfully and logged in. So 1 out of 1 successfully completed, 1 valid password found. So that just means that it was successful. Okay, so that's basically it. Now if you know how to go beyond this point, I don't encourage it, but this is all for testing purposes, obviously. This would get the alert that we're looking for in my other video in my channel, where a security alert is triggered based on a brute force attack. So this will do the job to trigger that if you're looking for that solution as well. Also, I want you to notice here the VMs that I have. They're in the same subscription. They're in the same resource group. I think the only difference is their virtual network. Vnet by default. Yeah, they're in the same Vnet right here and right here. So my point with that is there's no limitations as to where the VMs have to be as far as how, if you want to test against your own VMs. So they can be in the same Vnet and resource group and all of that. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave some comments if you have any questions. If you like this video, like and subscribe, and stay tuned for the next video.